What's up everyone, China Cycling here, and today we're looking at this, the Tavelo Arow. I've been riding this bike for almost half a year now, so today I'm going to tell you what I think about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so let's check it out. Okay, so in this video we're going to be going all over the frame itself, tell you the specifications of the frame. I'm also going to tell you how I built up the frame into the bike that you see here. I'm going to tell you some of what I think are the pros and the cons of the frame. I'm going to talk about the drama that was surrounding this frame a few months ago. So this is the Tavelo Arow. This is Tavelo's second road frame now, the follow-up to the Attack that I reviewed and loved last year. So this one, as you can see, is more of an Aero focused frame. It's more like the Aero big brother to the Attack. We've got the big, like, pointy, elongated elongated head tube like you see on something like the SL8 these days. And you've also got these super thick tube profiles and a nice cutout for the rear wheel on the back too. So a pretty Aero frame. Obviously with Aero frames and Aero tubings, weights do go up. I think the official weight for this frame is like 990 grams in a size medium. So definitely not the lightest frame in the world, but you know, you're getting an Aero frame. Other than that, specifications, we've got mostly T800 carbon fiber. We've got a BB86 bottom bracket. And we've got clearance for 32mm tires. The frame itself only supports electronic shifting because it is fully internal, as you can see. There's absolutely no place for any cables to go on the outside, and there's only basically room for just 2 cables going down into the head tube. So only electronic shifting on this one. So I'm going to quickly walk you through how I built mine up as you see it here. Start from the top. So I've got this 3D printed saddle that I'm testing on here. Me personally, I'm not very fussy about saddles. Pure carbon saddles and no padding are fine by me. So this one with a bit of padding has been a bit interesting to try. Below that we have the proprietary seat post. So it's like a D-shaped cam tail kind of setup jobby. The mount here, it comes with mounts for standard alloy rails and carbon rails, so that's good. The seat post clamp is here. The screw for that is at the top, but there's no rubber bung here to stop dust or water getting in. Not been a problem for me so far, but you know, it is just something to note. At the front of the frame, we have Tavelo's own integrated cockpit. I think they call it the Aero. This cockpit has actually been really popular. Also, people buying it for other bikes, not just this bike. I think it's a really good handlebar. It's got like dimples on the front for some extra grip. It's in a nice range of modern sizes. I've been really enjoying this handlebar. The frame itself, so mine is a size small. I got it in this paint job. I think they call it Geo, short for geometry. And yeah, I really like these colors. I was gonna get one of the bright pink ones, but in the end I ended up going for this. Probably not the lightest color, but I think this, you know, this color does look pretty good. Group set do this. So on here, I've got the L2 blue. So it's not the latest one with the USB-C charging, but it is just the blue edition. I've been testing this on this bike also for like half a year now, not put a single foot wrong. So yeah, so far so good. It looks like L2 are finally getting over their reliability issues, which is good to see. Wheels wise, of course, there's only one choice, and that's the Craft CRWs. These are the CS 65, 75. So my thinking was Aero bike needs Aero wheels. So 65, 75, super deep, super wide, and also pretty lightweight as well. So I really think they set the bike off, especially with the white logos popping against the frame. I think looks really good. For the crankset, of course, only one choice, Cybre. Sorry, a bit dirty. As I say, you can see that I actually ride my bikes. But yeah, Cybre carbon crankset with the XKD power meter and carbon fiber chain rings. 165mm cranks is what I run. Again, been flawless. On the back, I've got the Neutron cassette from Neutron, a brand that's associated with fast sports. This cassette, meh, it's very light, but it's not the quietest thing in the world. This thing does make quite a lot of noise. Shift's okay, but it is a very noisy cassette. Bottle cages are from Tavelo's sister company, Pertual, usually making their wheels, but also making accessories like these bottle cages. These bottle cages are less than 10 grams each. I don't think they fully meet the aesthetic of the Aero bike look, but for 10 grams, you know, you can't complain. Wrapped around the wheels, I have Continental Grand Sports, so not the lightest tire, but a pretty cheap budget tire. I've got Ride Now TPU tubes in there, and as you see it here, the whole bike with pedals, so no pedals on there at the minute, but with pedals, we're on like 7.2, 7.3 kilos. I'll throw in a clip of me weighing the bike. 7.2 kilos for a fully aero bike with such deep wheels, with a padded saddle, all this stuff. I think it's pretty respectable. Obviously not as light as my Quick Pro, not as light as my Attack, but for an aero bike that's got these thick tubes, I think it's pretty respectable. So how does the bike ride? How does the frame ride? It actually rides pretty similar to its little brother, the Attack. I'd say it's a little bit more hesitant to accelerate than the Attack. Like I say, this build, as you see here, is about a kilo heavier than my Attack. So it's a bit more hesitant to accelerate, but once it is up to speed, it does seem to cruise a bit better than the Attack. Don't just take my word for it. Jesse Coyle of Aero Show fame, he also has one of these, and he did some of his science testing, and his came out to be around 20 watts faster than his giant TCR. So yeah, it's definitely no slouch in the aero department, and yeah, I can back that up. Once this thing's up to speed and I'm in the aero heads position, this thing just sails. Speaking of Jesse from the Aero Show, that's a good segue into talking about who else is riding these. So Jesse from the Aero Show has got one, but also a couple of the Americans doing crit races over there have got them. I believe the Austin Outlaws, there's a few of the guys on that team doing very impressive things with this frame. I think in particular Lucas Bourgoin, sorry for butchering your name, he's been out sprinting Justin Williams on his. So yeah, it can certainly handle a sprint as well, and doing pretty good in the crit races, so you know, must have decent enough acceleration and yeah, good geometry. And of course, if we're talking about who else has one of these frames, we can't not talk about Peak Torque. Obviously, he had one of these frames and said some not such good things about it, but Tavelo sent me to the UK to take care of that problem. These YouTubers think they can say what they want and get away with it. Just think they can put what they want out on the internet. Huh? How'd you like this? Are you gonna chill like a good boy?
Yeah, I'm gonna chill. I promise I'm gonna chill. I promise.
No, just kidding. Obviously good friends with Peak Torque. He said the facts, he said what his frame was. My frame, when I got it, my bottom bracket was also undersized and I had to ream out slightly. So my frame was one of the very early batches, as was Peak Torque's, as was Jess's, and seemingly we all had bottom bracket issues. Now Jesse solved his just by using the SRAM bottom bracket, and it seemed to make all his problems go away. I talked to him the other day, he's been riding his for also almost half a year, hasn't changed the bottom bracket on it, there's no creaks or anything, so his is doing fine. I talked to Tavelo as well, like what they're gonna do about this going forwards, because the whole thing surrounds around BB86 and what size should you actually make the BB86 press fit shell. In the early days, maybe Tavelo weren't controlling the quality controlling this too tightly. Now they are. Now they have the dimensions that they're controlling it down to. I believe they're going for 40.92 to 40.98 millimeters is their QC standards. Now everyone has an opinion on what the best tolerance should be, but they are just that, opinions. Even Shimano themselves, whose standard this is, if you look in the frame builder's manual for frame builders, they don't actually give you a standard. They don't actually give you any dimensions. They tell you what they're going to do, but what you want to do, they leave it up to you because they know it is also a can of worms. So every brand's going to be a bit different. But before Tavelo, I think they were a bit lax on the QC. Now they have a QC standard, and yeah, it looks like things are going much better. You know, anecdotally, we've sold a couple dozen of these, I think, at this point, and yeah, no major complaints about the BB. Once everyone gets it all set up, they all run just fine. Anyway, on a frame like this, if you do have any issues, you know, if you do have any problems with your frame, you know, if you do get it from a reputable place like Panda Podium, then the customer service we have is going to take care of you, obviously. So yeah, the frame itself has a 5-year warranty to cover from manufacturing defects. And yeah, with these things, if anything's going to go wrong, you're probably going to notice within the first 5 years. So let's kind of summarize, talk about the pros and the cons of the frame as I see it. For pros, I think one of the main pros, it's a good looking bike. The design of the bike, looks easy on the eyes, but also the paint jobs. I think there's like 12 paint jobs for this bike or something at this point. And yeah, I think they're all pretty good looking paint jobs, a good looking bike, a lot better than some of the other Chinese competition. The second pro of the bike, I'd say the aeroness. It does seem to be pretty aero. Again, my Butt Science dyno, Jesse Coils testing, and also the Austin Outlaws winning races on it. It does seem to be a pretty fast frame. And the third pro I'd say about it is just the included handlebar. Lots of the Chinese brands, the included bar with the frame isn't very good, but the included bar on this frame is very good. I definitely rate it. People are starting using it on other bikes even, so yeah, I think that's a good testament to how good it is. Cons of the frame or disadvantages of the frame, I'd say number one, the price creep. So it is more expensive than last year's Attack. I think we're up to around $1,800 now for the frame with the handlebar. Not the cheapest thing in the world, but you guys can be the judge. Second disadvantage for me, 990 grams for a frame, like very close to the 1 kilo mark. When you have other frames that are pushing the 600-700 gram mark, 990 grams is a bit much. And yes, it is pretty aero, but it's not like crazy specialized Venge kind of aero. 990 grams, I'd like to see a bit snipped off that, but yeah, it is what it is. And I'd say the final disadvantage is just the QC history that's going around with this now. I think they got burnt a bit by that with the Peak Talk review of the bottom bracket and stuff, but it is what it is. They let the frame out there in the wild, so they've got to live with it. It does seem to be better now, like I said, anecdotally, but yeah, no, we've got to put that in there as one of the disadvantages. This is a frame that keeps your QC department on its toes. So who do I think the Aero is for? I think it's for people who, are riding quite a lot, quite fast, and mostly on the flats or maybe rolling hills. Like I say, if you don't care about weight, it doesn't matter, but if you are climbing a lot, you probably do care about weight, and you might want something a bit more climbing focused. Like the Quick AR1 or something like that. But if you do find yourself doing mostly flatter stuff, mostly crit stuff, then I think this is a great thing for you. And I do think this is a great thing for you. It ticks all the boxes, it gets the job done, and it looks good doing it. But yeah, in summary, that's my review of the Tavelo Arow. Like I say, almost half a year on it now. It's not put a foot wrong. You can go around and do your research, other people riding them as well. I have a video on my channel which I'll also link. When I was in the UK, I bumped into some other guy who was riding around on one of these, and he was loving his as well. So yeah, there's lots of people riding them out there now, so that's a good testament. You can get lots of data and see who's having issues or who's just loving their frames, and it seems more and more people are loving them. So yeah, if it is a frame that you're interested in, check out the link in the description below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. China cycling, ow!